Dmitry.
Hi, Katya.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great too. Thank you so much for joining me for this interview. We
Yeah,
have
thank you
quite a
for asking.
few questions to get through. So let's start with the first one. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your background in IT.
Yeah, sure. Briefly about me. I am Dmitry, an Android engineer at Revolut currently, and with 5.5 years of experience, and I worked in various fascinating fields, starting from a small food app for deaf people to a large international financial app that is Revolut. And yeah, my main characteristic is that I'm really in the code review process. So, and the most recognizable thing probably is that I'm very attentive during code review to nitty-gritty, and I even often find some bugs during code review process. So yeah, that's
Nice.
shortly about me.
Mm-hmm. And what motivated you to learn English?
First of all, English is the best friend for IT industry at all. And all my programs, at least, and even the code as itself are written in English. So you can't just avoid it because otherwise you won't be able to read documentation, articles, or watch conferences, or even participate in them, in my case at least. So, and moreover, if you ever dreamed of an international company, a fluent working communication, multicultural vibe, and all other things, all these things are unreal without language. So it's better to know it.
We met back in February 2022, and you reached out to me through a recommendation. At first, we were having more general IT lessons, and then we switched to interviews. What made you decide to choose the path of interviews?
First of all, it was the best recommendation. So I recommend everyone who are listening to us to reach out to Katya. She will help you in your way to any international company. So I think it will help. And yeah, answering the question is I decided to change my job position, and I started for preparation for interviews. And yeah, I spent a lot of time in terms of technical questions, and also yeah, I started preparing for behavioral ones and all other stuff related to English interviews.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of interviews, how was the interview process at Revolut?
Mostly interviews for my position are similar to each other, and that was consist of some screening to make sure you are not a crook, some behavioral and two technical interviews, and if I remember correctly, and this interview I remember as the most difficult and easiest at the same time, even if it's contradiction in terms, because at first stage, the first interviewer stumbled upon one of my strongest topics, and I finished that stage in advance, but the other one was much longer, lots of question, tricky code tasks, and yeah, it was harder than I expected after first one. Yeah, and what I remember clearly is that I was very confident about speaking because it was 13th interview in a month, and yeah, I was able to speak fluently, almost fluently, yeah. And I recommend to everyone who are listening to us, honing your skills in a place where you don't want to go before you come to the place of your dreams. And another advice is consider preparing all of common questions. I mean, common answer for questions in advance, because it's better to not be silent at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How did your English skills contribute to making this transition smoother for you?
Yeah, at least I was able to explain myself and understand what somebody wanted from me almost everywhere, even despite the fact that I live in Germany, in Berlin, and there especially a lot of English-speaking people, even in Germany. And Yeah, sometimes I can forget some common phrases or words. I even remember one day I bought a coffee and forgot how the straw is called, but yeah, I used my gestures and anyway I explained. But yeah, it's better to be prepared even for common situation in life. Yeah, and when it comes to especially IT English, I wouldn't survive without preparation because we use a lot of, I would say, slang phrases in IT, even on daily stand-ups, some retros, on company-wide meetings, or other things. So yeah, without English, it would be unreal, especially without understanding the context. So you should understand what is going on, and if you want to be heard, you have to speak. If you want to be in charge or lead something, you should inspire confidence. Even if you make mistakes, you should act. You shouldn't be prevented from it. So
That's right. Yeah. Have you started learning Germany? Germany. Have you started learning German?
yeah, I started, but right now I'm on the very low level, and when I need to use even common phrases that I know because I training this on Duolingo, but anyway, I forgot about everything at that moment, so I'm not able to express myself for now.
Can you share some experiences or challenges you faced during your transition to working and living in Germany?
The first impression was that um, I didn't expect that there's so many accents in the world. Even when all people speak English, it's not the same when you study some English accent. I mean, some teacher accent, I would call it like this. Yeah, and um, if we talk about challenges, that bureaucracy and the apartment market are almost 10 circles of hell. And when it comes to bureaucracy, um, I mean physical post because it's the preferred way and one of the most inexplicable thing for me. Um, because there are even funny stories when some service may ask you by email to respond with a physical letter. And if we talk about apartment market, the market is boosted, the price is bumped, and the demand is huge. It means that even if you have money, it's not easy to find a good apartment for the price. And when you are newly arrived immigrant, it will make you suffer because you have no almost official documents.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly the same in Portugal. Has your experience at Revolut aligned with your expectations when you first joined?
The experience itself is exactly aligned with what I expected because I thought that the development process, colleagues and stack, all other stuff should be similar to what I'm used to, and that's it. But it's worth to mention that there are more high qualified engineers here. Probably because our slogan speaks for itself. I mean, the slogan is never settle, and it means the high bar, top talent bar, and yeah, all other stuff related.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I thought Europeans are more laid back, and I was thinking perhaps the workers are also not so career driven in Europe, but I guess I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for Europe in general, it's true, but not for Revolut exactly.
Were there any surprises? What about the office? I know it's off the topic, but how are the Revolut offices?
It's small Revolut office here in Berlin. I visited 2 times per week approximately, so I partly work remotely. But the office itself is small but very convenient. I mean, you have all the stuff you need and not too many people in there, so you are free to work, and it's more convenient than my home workplace.
Mhm, mhm. And did you experience any cultural related surprises while working in a multicultural environment?
Yeah, no big surprises because only accent was the biggest surprise that I encountered, but I would say that I don't know why, but the multicultural environment seems more friendly to me at least. And anyway, people are a bit divided within themselves by language or country, but they are always polite to chat with you, speak about some topics, share experience, or tell about some customs, for example, also.
Looking back, is there anything you wish you had known before starting this journey in terms of living in EU?
Yeah, I would like to know more about cooking because since I didn't cook almost 24 years before I came here, because the food service is more expensive and less tasty than I'm used to. So yeah, it's better to cook to survive here and save money and also be able to eat what you want.
Yeah. The other day, a friend of mine ordered a kebab or shawarma, right? And it took them 2 hours to deliver it, and it was cold, and they messed up with the order as well.
I had experience when some service didn't deliver during a week and didn't respond even during a week. So I deleted the applications. I wouldn't speak, I wouldn't say what exactly service it was because it's it's not too fair to judge by one client. But anyway, I deleted the app.
So, where can our audience find more about you and your experiences, or connect with you?
Yeah, LinkedIn is the most suitable way to connect. So yeah, I often refer some unknown peoples to Revolut, so feel free to reach me out and I'm free to discuss any topics related to IT and English also.
Nice. Any final words of encouragement?
Yeah, I have a favorite quote. The air runs fast, but the turtle comes to the finish line. So it means that it's better to make progress step by step, but continuously instead of rushing into something and stopping on the halfway. So consider to practice and practice as much as you can, and reach out to Katya. She will help you. So yeah,
Thank you so much, Dmitry.
yeah. Thank you, Katya.